Hey everyone, today we are going to enhance our sound in Omnisphere with this little sound design video. We will use a new effect from Decent Samples, the creator of Decent Sampler. The tool is called Refractions, a unique audio plugin that samples and resequences audio in real time. You can find a link in the description below to check it out for yourself, but in this video we'll take it for a little spin. The best way to show you what this effect does is to play some sounds. Now, I have Omnisphere set up on one channel and I have added Refractions as an insert effect. First, this is the sound as it is in Omnisphere. Sounds lovely, absolutely beautiful. How can we make it better? Let's put on Refractions. What a difference to the sound. There's delay, reverb, some granular effects going on there. Now, we can take this one step further and see what happens when we apply this effect to a whole track. So I've loaded up a little short ambient piece that I made earlier, really to demonstrate the power of this effect and how it can transform your composition. So what we're going to do, we're going to just turn these off and listen to the dry version of this track, and it sounds like this. So something very simple, laid back, nice and relaxed. We've got some drums there, arpeggiators, pads. Now let's turn these instances of Refractions on. And now let's listen to this track. What a difference to the sound that makes. Just a little bit of this effect takes the track to a whole different space. It's just unbelievable what this little thing does. So what we're just going to do, just to give you an idea of what's actually going on, I'm just going to play some of these tracks in isolation. I'm not going to play the whole sort of like 8 bars here. I'm just going to go through the track so you can hear what it sounds like on its own, which is this. And then if I put Refractions on, we get this. So what it does to the arpeggiator. Now let's listen to what it does on some lead sounds. We'll just do that little bit there, and we'll just put Refractions on, and this is what you get now. And just very quickly, And this is what it does to some pads. If I put refractions on, get some beating effects on the stereo spectrum there. And then we have a drum track on its own. It sounds like this. And if I put refractions on, we get this. And then just give you it all in context once again. We get this. Amazing what this little thing can do. So essentially what we've got here, if I go to the interface, this is Refractions, a little innocuous looking effect really. As I said earlier, Refractions samples and resequences the audio in real time. It does this by capturing the audio input and putting it through several effects. There's a delay, a reverb and a low end filter. Now the basic view we've got here provides just 4 parameters to adjust. We have the mix knob, and that is just what your dry and wet signal does really in a normal effect. So if I just go to one of my lead sounds, actually it'd be better to demonstrate this. I'll do it on this one here. So if I just go Refractions, bring this up. Now if I... So now I've got that quarter 2. Now if I turn that all the way up, we have this. So it just alters the wet-dry mix of the actual effect. If you are in your DAW, and we've got the whole sort of... It's like there's a whole sync actually turned on automatically. So this BPM rate here, you can't move it. It has no effect if you've got the whole sync, but more of that later. We've got a pattern view here. Now, this lets you choose from various pre-saved patterns. You can edit your own, which we'll have a look in a bit. And you've got all these pre-made patterns, and each one does something slightly different. You've also got some presets actually that come with it. So you've got some core sequences, detunes, oddness, pull sequences to play around with. Now this ripples knob, this lets you control the volume of the refractions, delay effect and the delay feedback level. So what happens here is if I play, let's just do a C minor. Now if I turn that up, we get this. So we get more ripples going on there. And you've got these standard reverb knob here, which will control the wet-dry signal. So the more you turn it to the right, the wetter the signal and the more reverb to the sound. So you've got some basic control of the effects straight away. Now this is where things get a little crazy. Let's press the advanced button and it all opens up and we get a lot of parameters to play with. We have a note shape, so if I just play again, this actually alters the attack and release of the notes entering the actual effect. The more I go to the right, the longer the attack time and release time. So if I move this, the attack time goes up, but the release time, you get a longer release on it. Now, and if I turn it to the left, I get a shorter attack time. The absolute crazy thing is, they've actually put a granular engine in this, and it's very interesting. The lower you put this knob, so more to the left, the more the robotic sounds. It's because the audio pool that the data is pulled from gets shorter and shorter the more you turn the knob to the left. So as a demonstration, see, I've played that with the mix just on, because if I turn the mix all the way up and do it, it becomes very robotic. And it starts feeding back, and I really don't want to be hurting your ears there with this. So what we have next is a transpose button. It's my knob, Adrian. It's the transpose knob, and this lets you transpose the sequences up and down. So you can, so if you hold in a C, so basically semitones, you can transpose the sequence pattern up and down. That is handy. You can then control the sequence section in different ways using the play ahead parameter. So we've got the forward and we've got reverse, we've got some random, and you've got true random. So if we do true random, let's go reverse. So you alter the pattern, the sequence there. If you want to, you can turn the whole sequence sync off, but if you have it on, then you can use this sequence subdivision knob to adjust the tempo of the sequencer relative to your DAW's tempo, which gives you a bit more of a musical experience. So I would normally keep the whole sync on, and then you can sort of move this around, so you can have 8 notes, and all the way, where do we go to? 1-on-1, 1-to-1, and 1/64 triplets. So if I just do I want 1/8, there we go. And if I move that to 30-second dotted, so you get a slightly different effect on the repeats there. Let's put back to the 8. No, we'll go back to 16th notes. This next column here is all about delay. This column down here. And you've got a few parameters to adjust your rate and spread. We've already done what the ripples is, and the delay rate and delay spread will speak for themselves if you've ever used a normal bog standard delay. We then have a reverb section which provides a couple of models to play with. You've got a dark hole, a massive, and then I'll just go back to a dark hole. And then you got the final bit, a low pass filter, which will darken your sound. Now I actually found this quite helpful on a drum track, which I'll demonstrate here. So if I just bring up refractions and turn refractions off first of all, we had just advanced. We had this rhythm. Now if I turn refractions on, see how it adjusts the sound there. Now, one of the really interesting features on this is, I'm just going to go back to my melody track here and just bring up refractions again. We have an editor. So this pattern here, this pattern 6, so this bit here where there's pattern, you can go into the editor and make your own. Now, in the note filters, you can, so where it says +12, +24, +36, so they're all octave changes. Now if you want, you can go octaves and fifths. Now I would tend to stick to octaves and fifths unless you know the key of the incoming audio, because octaves and fifths are quite agnostic whether you're doing minor or major chord progressions, so you can't really go that wrong. If you know what key you're going to play in, then you can actually go all notes and start moving these little blocks around. Miss blocks out if you want to. It's literally all by just clicking, and when we get something different, what do we get here? So you get something wacky straight away there, and you can alter your steps, how many steps you want, and you can go all the way up to, let's see how far we can go. I think it's 64 steps. So you can actually program, no, we can keep going. Wowzers, you can program in a whole song near enough. I wonder if it goes up to 127 like any MIDI would do. No, you keep going. You can actually program in literally a whole song on this. So if I press this dice button, I will get a random sequence every time. Let's try some octaves and fifths and do random and see what happens. Now I'm going to just go back to basic and turn the mix up and see what happens with this now. I am literally just pressing one note here, I swear. I'm not pressing multiple notes. I'll just play an arpeggio of a C minor, see what happens, and what I'll do is I'll play the actual note and hold it down. So I'll play C, E flat, G, C. Let's see what happens. Absolutely amazing. This has been a quick tour of Refractions, an effect that will take simple synth sounds to a whole new level. It's perfect for ambient music and anything to do with soundscapes. I hope you enjoy this video and learn something new. If you haven't done so already, go and check out Refractions, there's a link in the description below. And if you did learn something new and you enjoy this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel for more sound design tutorials. Thanks for watching, and all there's left to say is stay creative, stay sonic. I'll catch you in the next one.